So after the events that unfolded with episode 6 of Raising Kanan, we're going to see Nicole turn for the worst next week. She's going to cook up a scheme with Jukebox, but should Nicole have stayed in her lane, or will she pull off whatever they're planning? Kanan also enters the crack den. Raquel has some more wise words for Kanan and tells Lulu that they're in a war, and it seems like Marvin and Kanan's drug scheme has gone sideways as expected, because it's Marvin of course, but I'm really hoping he's able to prove his worth to the family just like he said. But we're going to dive deep into all things episode 7 and what we saw in the trailer. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But let's start with where the trailer started, and that's with Jukebox and Nicole. And Nicole is someone who's going to take a turn for the worst real quick. I think she's someone who's going to be brought down to earth real quick as well. She's someone who's entered Queens to support Juke, but she could be leaving as a drug addict with the help of Crown. I do feel like this was crack and not weed, and it would be very ironic if Nicole was to get the drugs that would kill her with an overdose from the very same place that Marvin has set up with the help of Kanan, which we saw in the last episode. And if this is the way that Nicole goes out, then it really is going to cause even more cracks in the Thomas family, but more so between Jukebox, Kanan and Marvin. We have to remember that Jukebox said that she doesn't want to get into the shit that Marvin's into, and I think Jukebox is smart enough to know that this shit can kill you. We've even heard Marvin on 2 occasions in the first half of the season refusing to take his own blow, because he doesn't do that shit, he just sells it. He knows himself the damage that this can do, and so does Jukebox. But Nicole on the other hand, she doesn't. She's new to it all, and she's new to this life that everybody lives in Queens. But Nicole and Juke seem like they're at an event, and they could be pulling a lick together. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, this title episode is called Stay in Your Lane for a reason. Nicole needs to stay in her lane. Pulling licks is something that Jukebox is good at, because that's what she does. She's a born hustler, but Nicole isn't. She's not from where Juke is. She doesn't have the hustle inside of her like Juke has, and I am predicting Nicole to go out either with an overdose, possibly from Marvin's own little business venture with Kanan, and then being responsible for a death, or Nicole just getting into trouble in Queens, thinking she's back home. There's a few ways this could play out, but I definitely don't have a good feeling for her character next week, and a few of the other characters as well. Davina is another character that needs to have one eye open, because I believe Kanan may not be the same naive Kanan that we've been seeing all season long, especially because of the ending scene in episode 6. He called Scrappy suspect in a conversation with Raquel earlier on in the episode, because he still didn't trust him, but the ending scene showed us that Kanan may have finally realized that Scrappy was on their side all along, and he was someone who was always loyal to Raquel. He told Scrappy that he was the only person who knew where the stash house was, but that wasn't true. So did Davina after he walked right outside, and now he may just realize. But on the other hand, it is Kanan. It is a very young Kanan that will still make mistakes, and we even see him in the trailer go into a crack den and most likely trying to go fight Davina's moms. We know she's a crack addict, and we know Unique said that he'll pay for her to go to a rehab facility, but we don't know whether this was a false promise or whether he's actually kept to his word. The fact that Kanan is going to a crack house tells me that he's looking for something or someone, possibly Davina's mom, but we'll have to wait and see. But Raquel tells Kanan that life keeps moving, can't stop and won't stop, and I do think another body is going to drop close to Kanan again, which I went through earlier on in the video with Davina or Nicole, and the lessons are going to keep on coming for Kanan, and Raquel is going to keep on teaching him, and I do feel we're getting closer to the Kanan that is about to turn savage. Every episode we are getting closer. He actually isn't as naive when it comes to making business decisions, taking on Symphony's teaching and using them to teach Marvin a thing or two, and this is something I'm going to go into detail in the week. But we also see a somewhat distressed and scared Kanan because of whoever is coming at him in this scene. It's not the scene with Raquel, and neither is it the scene at him and the crack house either, because he's wearing something completely different. I wonder whether it's Unique and his crew, but to be honest with you, it's Power. They manipulate the shit out of all of these trailers. But let me know what you guys make of this short scene with Kanan looking really scared at whoever's coming at him. But then we come to Lulu, and he's actually the masked man in this trailer. He has a gun beside him, and he seems like he's going to be on a revenge mission for Raquel. Remember, he's the man that gets shit done, and he gets shit done right. The last time he called Raquel from a payphone was when he dealt with D-Wiz. He tells Raquel on the phone that they're going to war, and Raquel tells him they've been at war. They've been at war ever since the first episode. It's been a constant ripple effect from the very first episode, where one of Raquel's soldiers was shot in the leg, and when Kanan and D-Wiz killed Buck 20. It's a constant knock-on effect ever since, with each side making their move. And I do have to admit, Unique has played Raquel, especially when he hit a stash house. Hitting Raquel's stash house was a perfect play. Not only did he cut her supply by half, it gave Unique the power to go to Dean in a position of strength. This is why he was able to tell him that he'll pay 20% premium for Raquel's supply as well. He basically used the stash that he stole from Raquel to pay to cut her out, and he also knew that Scrappy was a mole. So what information did Raquel get? Nothing. So Unique played this well, and meanwhile Raquel is now without a connect. She's asked Julia to go to the bodega to speak to her cousins, but she's without a connect. Lou's mind isn't in the game, and Marvin just seems like he wants to do his own thing now because Raquel doesn't trust him with anything else apart from the dirty work and shit that will keep him far away from the real business. And to be honest with you, she does have her reasons, and it's because Marvin's always fucking shit up. But then again, like Marvin said in the last episode, we've seen Raquel make some poor decisions too, but it's Marvin who gets put down to earth by both Raquel and Lulu. We saw it again in the last episode with Lulu not treating Marvin as as an equal. Him and Kanan will mess up again next week when their little drug dealing scheme goes wrong, and I gave one example of how it could go wrong. I really wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys was an undercover cop because they're going into uncharted territory, somewhere where I'm sure Raquel didn't want them to go. That's why she had a deal, or used to have a deal with Unique, with which corners used to belong to who in Queens, and this is going to cause some huge issues between the family again, and a relationship that already has some severe cracks and problems. We've already seen Raquel lose her shit with Marvin on more than one occasion. We've seen Lulu and Marvin get into a fight as well, and I really wouldn't be surprised to see a full split by the time the season comes to a close. We all know that Marvin is going to kick Jukebox out of the house eventually when he finds out about her sexuality, so that's the split between Marvin and Jukebox that's to come, which we learned about in Power. But how will Lulu and Raquel feel about Marvin kicking out Jukebox? Because we know that Raquel and Juke used to share secrets and stay up all night having girly talks, so will Raquel take her in? We know that Lulu has this bond with her when it comes to music, especially with Lulu helping her catch a big break, so will Lulu take her in? Or will Juke then go down the path of being a cop under someone like Detective Berg, who I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of in the last 3 episodes? So let's see what happens with Marvin causing yet another issue for the Thomas family, and let's see what Raquel does when she finds out, because she always seems to find out everything, and I'm really intrigued to see how Raquel now plots her way back, and how she starts to plan revenge on Unique, not just for Scrappy, but for the stash house and for Unique taking away her connect. She's going to have to tread very carefully because the Thomas family aren't exactly in the best of positions, and they're not in the best positions in terms of their relationship with each other either. There is something that could come into play next week or in a future episode this season, and that's Raquel asking Julia at the bodega to reach out to her cousin. So I wonder who her cousin is that she wants to speak to, and whether or not we could see some new players being introduced in the last few episodes. But Unique definitely played Raquel and she's going to be pissed off, but let's see whether she can think calm and think 3 moves ahead of Unique now. But something that wasn't in the teaser for next week was Raquel's relationship with Symphony, and I do hope they come back to this because it was a bit of a shock to see Raquel completely break up their relationship, but it just goes to show how much she sticks to her word about nothing getting between her and her son. She made it clear to Symphony before, but even Kanan seems to like him, and he didn't want Raquel to do anything harsh because he said they can learn a thing or two from Symphony, just like both of them have. Raquel learned about the high rises and used it with her apartments, and Kanan took the lesson that he was taught about the folks over here who just fill up gas and run, making it the perfect spot to sell. Something I'm going to go to in a bit more detail in the coming day or two, but let me know what you guys think about Nicole and Jukebox working together, and do you think time is ticking for Nicole or Davina? Do you think she should be staying in her lane? And let me know whether you think Raquel can hit Unique back and get revenge for Scrappy and losing her connect. Also, let me know your thoughts on Symphony. Is he someone who Kanan will still secretly see and build a relationship with behind Raquel's back? Drop all your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related, because I will be back in the week breaking down key plots and storylines as usual. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.